fix yourself, let me start by telling you something that most people don't want to hear. Something that makes people uncomfortable. Something that forces you to sit with yourself a little longer than you planned. If your life is not where you want it to be right now, if things feel stuck, broken, delayed, or heavy, the first place you need to look is not outside of you, it's inside of you. Not at your job, not at your parents, not at your partner, not at society, not at luck, not at the system, but at the one person you see in the mirror every single day. Because until you fix yourself, nothing else can stay fixed for long. Most people spend their whole lives trying to fix the world while ignoring the mess inside their own house. They want better relationships, but won't heal their own wounds. They want more money, but won't change their habits. They want respect, but won't discipline their behavior. They want peace, but refuse to let go of the chaos they secretly cling to. And then they wonder why life keeps teaching them the same lesson over and over again. The lesson keeps repeating because you haven't learned it yet. You see, life doesn't punish you, life trains you. Every setback, every disappointment, every delay, every heartbreak, every closed door is trying to show you something about yourself. But instead of listening, most people get bitter. They get angry, they get loud, they point fingers, they blame the weather, the timing, the people, the past, the economy, the people, the past, the economy, the friends. Everybody's responsible except the one person who actually has the power to change something. Let me tell you the truth, and it might sting a little, but sometimes the reason you're not winning is not because you're unlucky. It's because you're unprepared. Sometimes the reason you keep losing people is not because everyone else is toxic. It's because you haven't healed what's broken in you. Sometimes the reason your dreams feel far away is not because they're impossible, but because you haven't become the person capable of carrying them yet. Fixing yourself is not about hating who you are. It's about respecting who you could become. It's about understanding that growth requires honesty, and honesty requires courage. You cannot change what you refuse to confront. You cannot heal what you keep hiding. And you cannot move forward while dragging the same excuses behind you year after year. There comes a moment in every person's life when you have to stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Because the moment you take responsibility, you take back your power. Responsibility is not a burden, it's a blessing. It means your future is not trapped by your past. It means your life is not controlled by someone else's mistakes. It means you are not a victim of circumstance, but a student of experience. Now listen to me closely, because this part matters. Fixing yourself does not happen overnight. It's not a motivational quote. It's not a weekend decision. It's not a promise you make when emotions are high and forget when life gets hard. Fixing yourself is a daily discipline. It's waking up every day and choosing growth over comfort, truth over ego, and progress over excuses. You have to fix how you talk to yourself, because if the voice in your head is always tearing you down, no amount of external success will ever make you feel whole. Some of you are fighting battles that don't exist anymore, but your mind keeps replaying them like they're happening right now. You're still arguing with people who moved on. You're still trying to prove yourself to people who stopped watching. You're still carrying guilt from decisions you made when you didn't know better. And that inner conversation is shaping your reality more than you realize. You need to understand that the mind is a powerful place. What you allow to live there will either build you or break you. If you keep telling yourself you're not enough, you'll never act like you are. If you keep telling yourself it's too late, you'll never start. If you keep telling yourself you always fail, you'll sabotage every opportunity before it even gets a chance to grow. Fixing yourself starts with changing the narrative you repeat in silence. You also have to fix your habits, because your habits are the blueprint of your future. Dreams without discipline are just wishes. You can pray all you want, visualize all you want, speak all the affirmations you want. But if your daily actions don't align with where you say you want to go, you're just lying to yourself with extra steps. What you do consistently matters more than what you do occasionally. Some of you want a better life, but keep repeating the same routine that created the life you're trying to escape. You want different results while refusing to make different choices. You want growth without discomfort, success without sacrifice, healing without accountability. But life doesn't work that way. Every next level demands a new version of you, and the version of you that got here is not the version that can take you there. Fixing yourself also means fixing your emotional responses. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not every comment needs a reply. Not every battle is yours to fight. Some of you are exhausted not because life is hard, but because you're emotionally available to everything and everyone. You let people drain you, trigger you, and control your mood because you haven't learned how to set boundaries. Let me tell you something important. Boundaries are not selfish. Boundaries are self-respect. If you don't protect your energy, the world will use it up and leave you empty. If you don't value your peace, someone else will constantly disturb it. Fixing yourself means learning when to walk away, when to stay silent, and when to choose yourself without guilt. You also need to fix your relationship with failure. Failure is not proof that you're incapable. It's proof that you tried. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than you've even attempted. The difference is they didn't let failure define them. They let it refine them. They let it refine them. They learned from it. They adjusted. They grew thicker skin. They developed wisdom. They kept going. Some of you quit too soon because you expect mastery before patience, results before process, and rewards before work. You get discouraged because you don't see immediate progress, forgetting that most meaningful growth happens quietly, slowly, and without applause. Fixing yourself means understanding that consistency beats intensity, and patience beats panic. Fixing yourself also means fixing your circle. Not everyone who has access to you deserves a front row seat in your life. Some people are only meant to be chapters, not the whole story. Some people are comfortable with the old you and will resist the new you because your growth reminds them of what they're avoiding in themselves. You cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick. Pay attention to who supports your growth and who tolerates it. Pay attention to who celebrates your progress and who feels threatened by it. Pay attention to who brings peace and who brings confusion. Because who you surround yourself with will either push you forward or pull you back, whether you realize it or not. Now let's talk about forgiveness, because this is where many people stay stuck. You cannot fix yourself while holding on to resentment. Anger is heavy. Bitterness is exhausting. Carrying grudges is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to get sick. Forgiveness is not saying what happened was okay. Forgiveness is saying you're no longer willing to let it control your future. Some of you are still living in a moment that already passed. You're still letting yesterday's pain dictate today's decisions. You're still letting someone else's actions define your worth. Fixing yourself means releasing what you cannot change so you can focus on what you can. It means choosing peace over pride, healing over revenge, and growth over being right. Fixing yourself also requires humility. You have to be willing to admit when you're wrong. You have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to start over. Pride will keep you stuck in cycles that humility could break in a moment. There is no shame in rebuilding. There is no weakness in asking for help. There is no failure in starting again with more wisdom than before. Let me remind you of something powerful. You are not behind in life. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified because of your mistakes. You are in a process, and processes take time. The seed doesn't become a tree overnight. The muscle doesn't grow without resistance. The diamond doesn't form without pressure. Everything meaningful requires patience and endurance. Fixing yourself is a lifelong commitment, not a destination. There will always be something to improve, something to refine, something to learn. And that's not a bad thing. That's a beautiful thing. It means you're alive. It means you're growing. It means you're growing. It means your story is still being written. So here's the moral of this message, and I want you to carry it with you when you leave this moment. Stop waiting for life to change and start changing yourself. Stop blaming the past and start building the future. Stop pointing fingers and start taking responsibility. Because when you fix yourself, your standards rise, your vision clears, your confidence grows, and your life begins to align in ways you never imagined. You don't need permission to become better. You don't need approval to grow. You don't need validation to heal. All you need is the courage to look in the mirror and say, I'm not perfect, but I'm willing to do the work. And when you make that decision, when you commit to fixing yourself one choice at a time, one habit at a time, one day at a time, everything else will start to follow. Fix yourself, not because you're broken, but because you're worth becoming the best version of who you were always meant to be.